Hello aspirants, welcome back to the daily news analysis of the Hindu. This is a free initiative brought to you by Transform IAS Academy. In this particular video session, we shall be looking into the articles which shall be extremely important for the civil service exam. So let us begin our discussion for 24th of January 2019. So even before I begin with my discussion, I would like to give you all information that we would be uploading the videos a day later. For example, the Jan 24th is what we would be discussing on 25th of January. Because since we have the test series which have started for 2019 of the preliminary exam, as we have been started up with the intensive comprehensive test series, as most of the time is been going on there. So it is actually becoming a challenge. You would not be able to do it on timely period. So it's just a day late is thought we would be able to upload. So pardon us for the inconvenience to what has been brought. And so let's begin with our discussion. So as in the first page, there were not much of the important thing that we can really focus on with respect to UPSC perspective, as most of them are not up to the mark. So it is again, there would be in the form of the transition of the news. Therefore, we have directly moved on to page 7, that is ISRO to launch the military satellite tonight. So basically it is midnight on Thursday where the ISRO's first mission of 2019 will be put into the space, a 130 kg military imaging satellite which is called as a microsat-R. So basically this is an ISRO which has actually shied away from sharing the details of the spacecraft, and moreover it is also using, it does routinely each time during its mission. So basically it is like a place 15 minutes they are just trying to tell to what they do it and what is a polar orbit that would be getting set off. So the polar orbit would be like 274 kilometers away from the earth. So this is a basic location. And the fourth stage orbital platform, the launcher is actually the PSLV C-44, where they use the fourth stage of the vehicle which is to be a higher circular orbit, and they would also establish an orbital platform for carrying out the experiments. So this is basically on the fourth stage platform, and moreover that is a ColumnSat, that is a nano satellite weighing 1.2 kg with a lifespan of 2 months, which is also a 12 lakh cost which is also been accompanied with it. So there is another one which is called as in ColumnSat, and here you have the mission descriptions, that is with respect to the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle C-44, and this is the 46th flight of the PSLV. And this is one of the new variant which is called as in PSLV DL, which have 2 straps on the boosters. So basically they would be launching this for the military grade of the microsat-R and the ColumnSat, which is a nano satellite as we discussed, where it is being to get to be used as a first rocket's fourth stage as an orbital platform. And the microsat, you should know that it is 100 kg class military imaging satellite reportedly, which is being given from the DRDO payload, and moreover it has been launched from 277 kilometers polar orbit. So basically it is the lowest where the PSLV have released a satellite. So here you have the height and diameters of it. Basically these questions might and might not be asked, because there was one preliminary question in 2018 that asked about the coverage of the one of the satellites. So nevertheless you could just have a spanning about them, that would be more than sufficient. And here we have India conducts the largest coastal security drill. So basically this is which comes under the GS paper 3 under the security. So this is the first coastal defense exercise which is actually conducted between Navy and the Coast Guards. So basically they are getting in collaboration, that is coordination, close coordination with the state government as well as with the union territories. So this is one of the largest such exercise which has been conducted ever since time, and moreover the participation on this particular drill would be more than 100 ships, the aircrafts as well as the patrol boats, which has been manned and operated by various security agencies. So securities agencies are the one who would be operating this, but you should understand what is the main aim of such coastal security drill. First and foremost, they want to comprehensively and holistically validate the efficacy of the measures which has been taken since 26/11 to whatever the Mumbai attack has been taken. Since then they wanted this to be more of comprehensively and holistically taken to be a part of it. And you should also know that this was also been concluded on 23rd of January. So again they wanted to strengthen the overall security architecture and also enhance the confidence in the misadventure by any anti-national elements. So this is all about the drill which was been concluded on Jan 23rd, 2019. And in the page 7 itself, on to the left hand side you have this news, monkey fever case confirmed in Wayanad. So this is one of the case which is called as in monkey fever. So this monkey fever issue is actually been covered under your science and technology under paper 3. So basically they call it as Kayasnuru forest disease, they call it as KFT. So you should know about the diseases a bit about it. Basically you should know about the Kayasnuru forest disease. It is actually a tick-borne viral hermophoric fever. So basically this is more confined and endemic to Karnataka state. So you can see here it is here Kayasnuru forest disease, which is called as in KFC, confined to Karnataka. So this is also referred as monkey fever. Most famously we call it to be as a monkey fever by the local people. So variously this particular virus which is causing the disease, which would be called as in KFT, that a Kayasnuru forest disease virus, is actually a member of Flavivirus and the family of Flaviviridae. So this is a family to what they belong to, and more importantly this fever was being identified in 1957, and most of the people who had attacked by this illness, they were occurred through the monkey, especially the langur, the black-faced langur, and also with the bonnet monkeys. So this is the main monkeys would actually have this monkey fever in them, and basically it's a transmission disease as well. So it's transmitted to humans, and basically this is after a tick bite or when they come in contact with an infected animal, and most importantly they fall sick, and there is also recently the death of the monkey, which can also make this issue to be described more. To person transmission has not been described as such as of now, but the large animals, let's say the cow, sheep, the goats or other things which is like mostly the domestic animals, they might be affected with this KFT virus, but they have played a very limited role in transmission of the diseases of such. But as I discussed with you all, no person to person transmission has been described as at now, and these animals have proved to be blood meals for ticks, and they are also being infected animals with viremia. So this is one of the infect of the ticks which actually ensures it, and that is the one where it has been a larger reason for such of the extreme rare disease which to get being transmitted. And there is no evidences of the transmission because it is purely where the unpasteurized milk of any of these animals has been used. So basically there is no disease transmission when it comes to the milk from any of these animals, because it has been affecting the goats, cows and the sheep. So as of now they have not seen, but the test has been going on to the same, and moreover the 36-year-old patient was at district hospital reportedly out of the critical conditions. So there is no such casualties also which has been taken place, as this forms a very important part of your disease section which comes under the paper 3 of your science and technology, and basically it's called as in Kayasnuru forest disease, and commonly it's called as in monkey fever. So this is there. So on the page 11 we have this: the cabinet decides to strengthen the Northeast Autonomous Councils. So this basically which comes under your prelims as well as for your mains examination. The main context of this particular article is that the Union Cabinet has now approved a constitutional amendment where they wanted to increase the financial as well as the executive powers of the 10 autonomous councils which has been actually been listed in the 6th schedule areas of the Northeast. So we know that on total we have 12 schedules. On that, the 6th schedule is what has been areas of the Northeast which has been concentrated in this particular article. So you should know first and foremost to what is an autonomous district council is all about. So here as per the 6th schedule there are 4 states, that is Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura as well as Mizoram, where they contain the tribal areas which are technically different from the scheduled areas. So these technically differed from the scheduled areas are the Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. So these areas they actually fall within the executive authority of the state, where they are getting a provision where they can make a creation for a district council. So there is a provision as per the 6th schedule where they can come up with a creation of the council as well as a regional council for the exercise of certain legislative as well as for the judicial powers. Likewise, in each district is an autonomous district, and there would be a governor where he can divide the boundaries of the said tribal areas by the notification. The South, they have to ensure that in each district, autonomous district can be created, the governor can modify it, he can give up with the boundaries and the said areas by doing with the notification. But what to do with the new amendments when they seek to make any sort of a modification? First and foremost, the amendment would impact a population of almost about 1 crore people, right? And this 1 crore tribal people who are living in Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and the Mizoram. So this we know that now the cabinet has decided to strengthen it. So there is an approval of the constitution amendment. But if this amendment has been done, if it has been granted, the stating is that would impact a population of nearly 1 crore tribal people. and the Finance Commission would be mandated to recommend a devolution of financial resources to the council as well, because there's another council which is going to come. So even for that we need to give up with certain sort of financial resources, so wherein the Finance Commission would start making a recommendation for the devolution for the same. So this autonomous councils will be dependent on the grants from the central ministries, and they should also be dependent on the state governments for the specific projects as well. And moreover, the proposed amendment to whatever has been there, at least 1/3 of the seats would be reserved for the women in the village as well as in the municipal councils. So this is as per the 6th schedule to in the areas of especially in Assam, Mizoram and Tripura, where they have to ensure that 1/3 of the seat has to be reserved for the women's and again. So the amendment also provides that there would be a subjects which should be transferred, and those additional 30 subjects should be transferred, where most important one would be like public works, forest, public health, engineering or food and civil supply of the Karbi Anglong Autonomous or the Territorial Council or the Dima Azau Autonomous Territorial Council in Assam. So basically the additionals of 30 subjects has to be done, and moreover whenever there is in proposed amendments they need to provide with an elected village municipal councils. So they would be able to ensure a democracy at the grassroots levels itself. And the state level commission could also hold the elections in this autonomous councils, and whenever they do it, the village municipal councils in the areas of the Assam, Mizoram and the Tripura. So here basically for all those things the state election commission is the one which need to hold up with the elections. So this is basically on this particular context that it was there in the news, and you should also know that this is purely which is a part of your 6th schedule which has been there. And as per the 6th schedule, we have one of the approved article amendment. In addition, you should know it is Article 2018 of the Constitution, where the stating is that this power is being given where have to increase the powers of autonomous councils in the 6th schedule. So as per that, this one is being discussed out here. So as this becomes very important, so this is part of your 6th schedule. On page 13, we had this news. The cabinet gives nod to set up a The cabinet gives nod to set up the GST appellate tribunal. So basically they call it as GST 80. So this one, the cabinet, you should know that as of now it has approved a creation of the National Bench of the Goods and Services Tax Appellate Tribunal. So the key facts to what you have to know about this tribunal, even before that we start up with a provision to what they are talking. First and foremost, this is a tribunal which has been set up in Delhi, and this is a forum of the second appeal in the GST laws, and moreover this is one of the most important forum where they would be able to resolve the dispute between the center and the state if such any has been there. And the composition of this appellate is basically where there would be presided by the president, and there shall also consist of one technical member from the center and one technical member from the state. So on total there are 3 such people who would be a part of it, the president. And moreover, whenever there is an appeal against the orders which they are made in the first appeal, then they have to, whichever has been issued by the appellate authority under the centrals and the state GST acts, they actually lie before the GST appellate tribunal. So this basically the appeals if something as such if they wanted. So basically it comes under the GST appellate tribunal, where it is very common law which has been both for the center as well as for the state acts. So the legal provisions that what one should know is that, so here the CGST actually the one which provides for the appeal as well as for review mechanism for the dispute resolution under the GST regime. So this particular act actually empowers the central government to constitute and also come up with a recommendation of the council by the notification, where they would be able to get an updated and more specified kind of an effect. So moreover, the appellate tribunal also would be known as the Goods and Services Tax Appellate Tribunal, where they would be hearing the appeals purely against the orders which has been passed by the appellate authority or by the revisional authority. Basically these are the people who would be giving this particular kind of statements or the orders. So basically they would be passing the orders against this appellate authority or a revisional authority. But what is the main need for getting something like this is because there is a common forum which is called as in GST appellate tribunal, where they would be able to get the uniformity. But the time we don't have a common forum, the uniformity would not be brought, or the redressal of a dispute arising under the GST and also the GST implementation across the country cannot be sorted with a proper and a clear basis. Basically they want to serve it to be as a dispute resolution forum for the centers as well as the state, as well as to get a uniformity altogether. So that was the main idea to why this particular nod is being given by the cabinet to set up with a GST appellate tribunal. So this has been there. So this is about the most important one. So this one and all is again, there's something it's very minute or it will be repeated in the editorial session. So that's it. So by this we have come to an end of the video. So this is where the most important articles for the 24th of January 2019 that you need to focus on, wherein the other things you can just have a glance as most of them are not that important. And do remember, you would be able to accomplish your dream only when you do your hard work, and hard work with smart work. So have a nice day and thank you for the same.